It's me back again with another video, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying all these epic movie reviews. There's just a lot of movies that have been coming out recently, so there's a lot to talk about, but I just watched the Suicide Squad, which is basically a Mr. Gunn and DC collaboration. Normally, Mr. James Gunn is known for the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which I really enjoy. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is a top 5 or top 6, Marvel movie. And it's just a great movie because James Gunn, he has a really unique vision. And basically, there was a 2016 version of the Suicide Squad movie, and it sucked really bad. I still haven't seen it. I probably won't watch it. I just know it's garbage. And basically, they're like, yo, that last movie sucked. So DC. So basically, DC is like, yo, that movie sucked so bad. We should probably like redo it or something. And then they're like, yo, let's hire James Gunn because he's awesome. And he's basically dealt with, the anti-hero thing before in Guardians of the Galaxy, so he kind of knows what he's doing. And they were a little bit scared because, it might not make as much money. And unfortunately, that's kind of what's happening right now, but that's okay. It's still a good movie, and people will appreciate it. And James Gunn did his own twist on it, and I think was amazing. It's very similar. This whole situation is very similar to the Deadpool uh, thing in 2016, where they basically decided to make a rated R superhero movie, or superhero movie, and so they did a lot. It was really risky to make Deadpool because it could have not made any money. No one's gonna go watch it, but it became like the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. And so they're like, okay, this is like a thing now. So basically, that's the other reason why they were able to make the Suicide Squad rated R. They're like, I mean, this superhero movie made money. I'm sure we can do something here. And so, yeah, basically, what makes this film awesome is James Gunn has full creative freedom. It's honestly pretty similar to regular like art house films like Blade Runner 2049 or art house. I don't know, The Green Knight, to pull a recent example, where basically you have a director who writes and directs their own movie, and they have full creative vision that's entirely based on what they wanted, and they're able to put that on the screen. And that's exactly what James Gunn had the ability to do. And like usually, DC or like the studio always interferes with this kind of thing, and they didn't this time. It seemed like, so, which is really awesome. It's similar to the Snyder Cut, where they tried so hard in the 2016 or 2017 Justice League to make it so MCU, and it failed so badly. And then they're like, whatever, Snyder, go ahead, here's money, make your film that you wanted. And then they remade the Snyder Cut, and that was good. That was DC making the right decisions there, and they did something really good here too. And I'm hoping, Marvel does the same thing. They do this all the time, but I'm just wishing that more studios and more blockbuster movies are going to start doing this now. I mean, after this movie, after Deadpool, whatever, all this other stuff, and it's really cool. In my opinion, the Suicide Squad is probably the best DC movie I've seen, since the Dark Knight trilogy, like legitimately. Um, you have Shazam, which was good, it was entertaining, but this movie, and then you had the Snyder cut, and it's 4 hours. There's a lot that's issues with it, but this is like a legitimate movie that's actually good, which is really weird. It's like there's actual characters, there's actual emotion. Somehow, somehow this movie almost made me cry, which is hilarious to say. Towards the end of the movie, I was sitting there, I was like, it's just really funny because this movie is like it's hilarious. It's violent. It's entertaining. Um, it's just like a great watch overall, and it's just like I wish, I didn't. I kind of wish I watched it in theaters. Honestly, it was such a great experience because they filmed it for IMAX. And honestly, my only issue with this entire movie is when they would go deep into the characters and they start explaining their backstory. It kind of feels like the whole movie kind of just stops and it just focuses on them. Like they're just sitting on the bus and they're like, okay, I'll tell you my story now. And then they just explain it. And it's like the stories are nice. Like their backstory, it's like they're sad and they're emotional. But it's like, it just kind of feels very, stop the movie a little bit. But it's like, honestly, it's a minor nitpick. It was just, when I was sitting there, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But I mean, overall, this movie was, it was such a fun movie. Like you guys should go watch it if you're, because this is a violent, it's a rated R movie. It's violent. There's swearing and stuff. But it's just like the fact that there's so much creativity in this movie makes it such a fun time. And I'm giving this movie a 9.1 out of 10 because it's so fun. So you guys should definitely go check this movie out. I'm willing to rewatch it with my friends and stuff if they're down. It's a good time. I'm glad. I'm really happy this movie exists, and it's probably one of my favorite movies of the year so far. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that review. Look forward to more movie reviews soon as well.